Hello and welcome to the show. It's been a while since I've been here for a live recording. This is going to be me sharing some of the stuff that I've been up to in the paid group. Now, warning, this is one of those long recordings, slightly over 30 minutes, maybe 31, 32 minutes. And I brainstormed some ideas to help a member of the group, Veronica, Hoodie Queen, who is an entrepreneur based in Lagos. She sells hoodies made of ankara fabrics, and we're brainstorming possible ideas for how she can generate more sales in the business. And then in the recording, I touch on some of the tension that lies between looking for new ideas versus optimizing what is currently working at the moment, optimizing what's working, scaling what's working before looking for new ideas. Now, from my interactions with people in the groups and people that I run into in real life or during sessions, I know not everyone is going to agree with me. But nevertheless, it's a tension that you should be aware of and you should bring to bear when it comes to your own businesses. So, with that out of the way, this is just an intro just to let you guys know because the audio starts off with me talking to one particular person. So, just so you just so you know the overall context of the audio. So that's it. Enjoy the show, and you want to be a part of any of these communities, especially the paid one. I give my phone number on almost every single episode, so I'm sure you guys have it by now. If you don't, it's 080 6466 So reach out and I'll hook you up, see what we can do. So on to today's episode. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I am late. I know I promised to be here by noon, but the other activities that I had scheduled ran over, and that's the reason why I'm here 2 hours late. Anyway, the benefit of this group means that whenever Veronica is available, or whenever you guys are available, you can just listen to this audio at your own convenience and then take whatever actions that are necessary. So, okay, in case you haven't figured it out, this audio is going to be primarily to address Veronica, Hoodie Queen. And that's because from yesterday's messages running into today and the audio that I put out, I get the impression, well, she has confirmed that actually what she expected on joining this group actually was, was exercises, more ideas basically about how she can sell her ankara hoodies. Now, of course, for those of you who've been following the exchange right from the beginning, you know that my own opinion is, oh, sorry about that. That's an alarm for another activity. Anyway, so for those of you who've been following the interaction from the beginning, you're aware that my own opinion has been that, first of all, we need to optimize, try and figure out what it is that we're doing that is working, then double down on that, and then try and optimize that process. That is the easiest way to grow profits rather than looking for new ideas. And this is also another reason behind that approach when it comes to a traditional sales and business development perspective. Usually, when you're trying to execute one kind of business play or sales play or marketing play, you usually have some biases or bad habits or inefficiencies that crop up. If you don't address them in this present campaign or in this present business idea or in this present outreach or whatever, if you try something new, you'll find that you just carry over all those bad habits into the new place and you're ruining your effectiveness overall. So one traditional example is CRM, follow through, follow up, all those things that I was trying to stress in the beginning when we were looking at how Veronica, the Hoodie Queen, how she uses the contact list that she gets from these things. The average salesperson or the average business person goes and tries out these ideas, but then loses money in the follow-up because you promise somebody, I'll get back to you on Monday, and then you forget. You remember on Wednesday, but then the person is no longer available. You guys agree for next week, Monday, and then you call the person up only to find out that the person has bought from someone else. So these sorts of things happen a lot, and you see that because your use of the CRM is not strong, your follow-up game is not strong, or your time blocking is not strong, your execution is not strong, you find that you're losing lots of money. So the thing is, when the average business person or the average salesperson now is looking for new ideas, but is multiplying this defect in CRM execution, you can see how you're losing money across how you're losing money, across different ideas, different platforms. In other words, you'll be multiplying inefficiencies. But anyway, I'm going to trust that Veronica, the Hoodie Queen, has her game locked down strong, that she has the pop-up execution strong, and that her CRM is tight, her follow-up execution strong. She's not missing calendar dates, and that she has an efficient and well thought out process for getting repeat business and referrals. Because I've spoken about on my podcast and lots of the training sessions that I handle for different organizations, because that's where Veronica and I first met at the Sweden event, and it's something that I stress there. A lot of people say, "Oh, referrals, that's a good way that I use to get business." But the thing is, actually, when they say referrals are a good way that they get business, it's just low-hanging fruit. The people that happened to refer. But explosive business growth happens when you have a plan for creating referrals. And usually, the plan for creating referrals is part of your customer service and customer satisfaction process, which involves asking for a referral in some fashion or another. But unfortunately, most people just refer on referrals that fall through their lap, and they say, "Oh, referrals, that's a huge source of generating income." Now, if you're getting good business from referrals that just happen to fall into your lap, imagine how strong and sturdy your business might be if you had a conscious plan for getting referrals. Anyway, I think I've gone, this is 5 minutes and I haven't even addressed Veronica's questions. Let me just get straight into what Veronica, our Hoodie Queen, wants, which is new ideas. So, she's currently doing pop-ups. Let's assume that the pop-up execution is on point. Now, let's start brainstorming ideas. Now, these are some ideas that I came up with, sat down, pen and paper, and just hashed out a couple of ideas. Of course, with the more time that you have for brainstorming, and maybe the more people that you have available to brainstorm with, you might be able to get richer ideas. So my challenge to you, Veronica, would be to take these ideas and just use them as a starting point. Sit down with your significant other, sit down with your business associates or with your parents or your kids, whoever it is that has your ear when it comes to these sorts of things, and then see how you can refine or expand the list accordingly. So one idea that I thought of to grow more sales was to create a strong online presence. I've had a look at your Instagram, Veronica the Hoodie Queen, but I must confess, the last time I looked at it was after the Sweden event. So I'm not sure if things have changed in the 2 months since then. But there's some work that could be done on your online presence. I was going to say particularly your Instagram handle, but actually your Instagram handle was all I requested from you at the Sweden event at the time. So you could, this could include plans for having a well-designed website, and then active social media accounts where you're sharing photos of your designs and stuff like that. Also, you can use that to now promote your pop-ups, promoting the pop-ups on your website and your Instagram and all of that. Because the last time I checked your Instagram, I didn't see any promotions for the pop-up activities that you had done in the past. I'm hoping that for the pop-up activity that you plan to do in London next month, was it London? Some part of the UK anyway. I'm hoping that you're already promoting that on your Instagram handle. And so with a strong online presence and with active social media accounts, you'll be able to engage with potential customers, and those are ways to bring in sales. Now, when it comes to engaging, we need to have the strategy part locked down. Now, Instagram, okay, well, first of all, let me admit, sales is my specialty. I'm having conversations with someone one-on-one. I want to be able to introduce myself, find out what they need, promote my own business, and then ask them to pay the deposit and make sure that they're happy so that they can bring their friends, family members, and associates back. That is my specialty. Social media, not my specialty. But I do pay attention to these sorts of things, so I have a couple of ideas. Number one, Instagram. The Instagram pros say that not all social media is equal. That Instagram, especially now, in the stage of its evolution, is mostly a community building tool. And I kind of agree because I have an Instagram handle and I've had one since 2020. It's been 3 years. But all I do on my Instagram handle is I share my podcast episodes. I'm basically just broadcasting, almost like I'm doing on Twitter. And I haven't gotten any business at all from my Instagram handle. I haven't gotten any engagement. And I know that is not Instagram's fault. It is my fault. Because Instagram is a community play, but I'm treating Instagram the same way that I treat Twitter, which is I have something interesting to say and I blast it, and I blast it, and I blast it. So Instagram is not a good tool for blasting. It's a good tool for community building. So, Veronica, Hoodie Queen, you're going to have a hard think about the way you use Instagram. And you need to bring that community building element on board. If not, you're going to be wasting your time on Instagram, just like I have been wasting my time on Instagram since 2020, just blasting. When Instagram is not good for blasting, Instagram is better for community building. So Twitter, LinkedIn, yeah, blasting, promotion, self-promotion, yeah, that works over there. On Instagram, currently, where the app is in the stage of evolution, that is not what it's good for. So you need to come up with a strategy for your other social media platforms. What is TikTok best for? Use it accordingly. Instagram, good for community building. Use it accordingly. Can you have a what's the other one? LinkedIn strategy, a Twitter strategy. Oh, sorry, it's not Twitter anymore. X. Yeah, my wife told me that it's called X these days. They kicked me off of X. So anyway, that's by the by. So what was I? Yes. So you need to come up with a strategy for all these social media platforms. Use it accordingly. Don't waste your time on Instagram behaving like me and just broadcasting. Instagram is about community building. So that's what you should be trying to do. So now I'm done with online presence. Then you can also use other online platforms like Veronica can use other online platforms like Jumia and Konga to sell her products to a wider audience. That's another way of growing sales. So just like people list on Amazon or Etsy or all these other places, Veronica the Hoodie Queen, you can list on Jumia or Konga and then start selling there. You're going to reach a wider audience. Some people don't like going through the Amazon, or in this case, in the Nigerian case, Jumia and Konga route, and so they decide to build their own online platform to sell. It's also something that you could consider. Veronica the Hoodie Queen. Then, online platforms, there's also Etsy. That's mostly an American thing. Because, well, anyway, I think Etsy is mostly an American thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's, all these artsy people, all these bohemian types, all these artsy fartsy people. That's where they hang out. Sorry, those of you who hang out on Etsy, if it sounds like I'm belittling you guys, I'm just trying to look for ways to describe that crowd. But I'm thinking that Ankara hoodies, will be a place to sell your hoodies. So you could consider Etsy as well for the Nigerian community in diaspora. So that's a possibility. Then there are also sites like wedding sites, because there's some wedding sites that have incorporated wedding registries. For instance, Illudio.com. Illudio.com is okay. The company is quite old now. I think it should be close to almost a decade. I did some work for them in the past, and while I was a wedding photographer, I was registered there as a wedding photographer, and they have a wedding registry. And the idea behind the wedding registry is this: in this part of the world, in Niger, of course, we know that over here people like to spray. Now, there are some couples that don't like being sprayed, and there's some couples that don't like receiving multiple gifts, because somebody would come and say, we are giving a gift of a washing machine to the bride, and the bride is happy. But then maybe another auntie comes and says, well, unfortunately, what we had to was a washing machine. And before you know it, the wedding is over and she has 4 washing machines, and meanwhile, she only needs one. So some people cure that problem by coming up with a wedding registry to say, if you would like to buy a gift for us, go to www dot whatever site, see a list of all the things that they have there. Those are things that we will need for our new home. So if you want to make us a gift, just purchase anything from there. And then when somebody buys one of those items, it gets moved off the wedding registry. And so you don't end up with the whole thing where the bride has received six irons as wedding gifts. Meanwhile, she only needs one iron, or two washing machines when she only needs one. So, Veronica, Hoodie Queen, you can be registered on wedding registries because people might want to gift the couple custom ankaras and stuff like that. So that's also a possibility. Basically, I'm just trying to freestyle here and see how you can use online platforms, whether it's online platforms that other people own, like being listed on Jumia and on Konga or Etsy or Amazon, or one that you can build yourself. And then when we're thinking of other wedding online platforms that people own, let's keep an eye out for other stuff, because wedding registries, that's also a possibility. I can't think of any online platform, but I'm sure if you sit down with your business associates, with your husband, if your kids are old enough and you guys talk business, you sit down with them, I'm sure you guys will be able to come up with some more ideas when it comes to online platforms. Then, let's see. Okay, we're talking online presence, we're talking about online platforms. Then we can also look at collaboration with local influencers or fashion bloggers. That can help you to promote your product, Veronica. And that's something we used to do back in the day. 15 years ago, when I was involved in the wedding industry, we'd get together and put style shoots. So the photographer would show up, makeup artist would show up, the dress person would show up, the accessory person would show up. We'd get a model, we'd get her up, done real nice, and then shoot and then use that to promote our stuff. Now, since I'm out of the wedding space, I don't know if people do those sorts of things anymore. And I don't know to what extent that they carry over to other industries. But it's something that I think can work in the fashion space. And maybe you should do some research, call up a couple of people, and then see who is interested in partnering, and then explore the idea. So you can call a bunch of bloggers. They're the ones who are going to write about it. You can provide the Ankara designs. Somebody else is going to provide the models. Let's see what else. There'll be a photographer. By the time you're done, the bloggers will blog about it. Everybody else will share the link. Everybody shares the material. That's the whole idea behind these sorts of things. So collaborate with local influencers, fashion bloggers. Don't just explore this on the Nigerian front. Since you're going to be in London next week for your are try and maximize your time there. So you can also speak to local influencers who are there. You never know. Just keep an open mind. So let's see what else. Then you can also partner, looking for partners and collaborations, hair salons, makeup artists. Let's see what else. Sorry, that's the second alarm. Okay, 16 minutes. Wow. Okay, I should wrap it up now. Where was I? Okay, hair salons. Maybe that was not a good idea. Makeup artists. Any, you get the point. You can also look for people that have physical locations. Okay, yeah. When I thought of hair salons, people that have physical locations, because I've noticed in Abuja, there are people who own hair salons, especially if they have big spaces in Abuja. I don't know if that happens in Lagos or in other parts of Nigeria. Sometimes there's a small space there where they allow somebody to put what are these things called, fascinators, all those funny hats that people wear, that ladies wear. Okay, maybe they're not funny, they're meant to be glamorous. So people can put up fascinators or put up handbags, put up different things like that, so that people are getting their hair done, their makeup done, and then they can now say, oh, how much is this fascinator, how much is this handbag, how much is this shoe. So you can have those sorts of partnerships as well, where you have some of your Ankara designs there, so that somebody's getting their hair done and they can say, I like this Ankara top. Is this size 14? Is this size 16? Is this size 8? Sorry, forgive me. I don't know, what all those sizes mean. Is that size whatever? Okay, let me have this one, medium cut, blah, blah, blah. However it is that you women describe your fashion styles. So these sorts of partnerships can be there to get a new audience and to generate more sales. Then, Veronica, you can also explore taking part in local fashion events or partnering with other businesses for cross promotion. Okay, local fashion events, I mean things like Well, back when I was in Lagos, there was Ikeja City Mall. I'm assuming that Ikeja City Mall is still there. It used to be next to Alausa. Okay, well, it was in Alausa, right next to NEPA. Okay, well, now it's not NEPA. It's what do you call it? Lagos Power Distribution Company or something. But anyway, you get the whole, you get the picture. For those of you who are based in Lagos, so Ikeja City Mall. Back then, while I was still in Lagos, at the end of the year or at special things, they would do all these kinds of events where certain parts of the car park would be blocked out, and then you'd have different food vendors, different fashion vendors, things like that. So if those kinds of activities still happen, then Veronica, Hoodie Queen, why not hit them up? When you're free, drive down to Alausa, get to the management office, Keja City Mall, make some inquiries, find out what do you guys have planned, end of year activities. You guys, okay, in Abuja now, Halloween seems to be becoming a big thing. So I think that'll be the next thing. Is there anything planned for Halloween? Is there anything planned for Christmas? What is it that is being planned? How do I take part? What is the entrance fee? What are we allowed to sell? What are we allowed to do? Blah blah blah. Then you can also, Veronica, you can also attend fashion shows and events like the GTB. That's the Guaranteed Trust Bank Food and Drink Fair. I'm not sure if they still do it because GTB is no longer called GTB now. I mean, the bank is still the same, but they've done some rebranding. So I think maybe the Food and Drink Fair would have rebranded as well. Last I remember, I think it's done in Lagos. Is it Lagos and Port Harcourt? I can't remember, but I don't think there's an Abuja leg for the event. So Veronica Hoodie Queen, you're based in Lagos, so why not hit them up, make inquiries, especially if you have a bank account with GTB. Talk to your account officer; they'll hook you up. They'll let you know. No, okay, the next one is scheduled for so and so. This is how much for gate fee. This is how much for booth fee. This is what you can sell. This is what you can't sell. This is how you take part. So see if you can be a part of it. Sorry, it's not just food and drink. It's fashion, fusion, food and drink, or something like that. If you have an account with GTB, Veronica, confirm from your account officer. She'll let you know what's up. Then there you should be able to showcase your designs. You'll be able to network with potential customers and other people in the business, since you won't be the only forward-thinking fashion person who is going to be there. Then you can also see if you can debut at the Lagos Style and Fashion Week. I must confess I haven't attended this in the last one I attended. I was just starting out as a photographer then, so I haven't attended this thing in 15 years, basically. But you can see how you can debut there. Yes, the big wigs are the ones that steal the show, but then there are side attractions there, and so who knows? Maybe you might try, see if you can get in and be one of the side attractions. Lagos Style and Fashion Week. I can't remember. I think that's the one that is organized by This Day newspapers, but I think they've changed their names. I'm not sure if it's no longer. Okay, well, is This Day newspaper? They call themselves This Day something. And they also own Arise TV. So I'm talking about the Style and Fashion Week, the one organized by This Day, Arise TV, Arise News Media, blah blah blah. So just ask around, make some inquiries, and then see how you can be a part of the event. You might decide to volunteer to style some models at the event, which will help raise your profile. And in fact, that is how I and a bunch of other photographers got in. We were volunteering to take photos for specific vendors, and that was the whole idea. That it's a high fashion kind of event, and so people who look and dress like carpenters, like I do, probably wouldn't have let me in if I wanted to come in on my own, even if I wanted to pay the fee. But as a photographer who's volunteering and hoping to raise my profile, yeah, sure, I got shooed in and I got to meet a couple of people as a result of that. Then Veronica Hoodie Queen, you could also offer customizing options to get more sales, because I get the opinion that the stuff you do is it, what's the expression? Is it off the rack? Like you make it and you hang it and then you either buy it or you don't, because it fits or you don't. You make them in different sizes. But you can offer customized options. Let people walk in, let them get measured and explore bespoke ankara ideas, because if they're going to do that, typically for that kind of customized service, you would be able to charge more, and if you're charging more, that's more profits. And who knows? From trying out new ideas, you might be able to come up with new lines that you can explore in the future. So offer customization options that could work. Then Veronica, Hoodie Queen, you can also try out loyalty rewards. Now it's basically stuff just to incentivize people, just to get them to come back some more. So you could put out the call, say that, hey, if you've bought 3 Ankaras from me, Ankara hoodies in the last 5 years, then send me the photo of you and your loved ones wearing the last 3 that you bought, and I am going to give you one free. This offer is open to the first 10 people who respond, and it's open and it lasts from now till August 25th. Something like that. You put out that sort of thing. And that's the idea. People who have bought before, you're trying to get them to come back and to get, you're trying to get them back into the store, and hopefully when they come in for the free one, maybe you might be able to sell them on more of your latest designs or stuff like that. Then you can offer discounts and promotions. You know that whole buy 3 get 1 free, buy 4 get 1 free, especially since okay, I don't know if you target family purchases, because there's some people who okay, well, that time is coming now. Christmas, yeah, Christmas is 2 months away. So we'll start seeing those advertisements on Instagram. People who sell pajamas, yeah, they'll be targeting family purchases. Now, okay, we have this wonderful Santa whatever. One costs 7,500 naira, but there are sizes available for mommy, daddy, and 2 children. So instead of getting one at 7,000 naira, if you buy a family set, you can buy it at 5,500 or something like that. So you can explore those sorts of ideas. Then, of course, you can also explore exporting, and I think that's something you should consider, especially since you're going to be in the UK next month. So, because you're planning another pop up, I don't know if your plans have changed from what you told me the last time, or rather, what we chatted about the last time. So, yeah, you could consider export. So you can talk to private stockists. Sorry, I think that's what they're called. I'm not a fashion person, so I don't know. You let me know the right term later. So talk to private stockists or Instagram influencers, because that is also export. It doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, of course, you can make them here in Abuja. You can DHL. And back when I used to do wedding photography, and I'd have to send stuff to people in the UK. This was a long time ago, so I don't know how much now. I think back then it was 11k to send from Abuja to the UK. So it can be done. You make the pieces here, package everything nicely, 11k, send it off to the UK, if it's still 11k, and hopefully it's priced appropriately, and that's the beginning of you being in the export market. Then you can also see if you can get partnerships with international boutiques. I would say, okay, since you're going to be in the UK, I would say maybe talk to Next, because I think Next is more urban focused than M&S. M&S seems more, what's that word? Gosh, I don't want to use the wrong word. M&S seems more, I don't know, upscale, maybe posh, or anyway. Next seems more urban, so maybe go have a chat with some Next stores, see whether they have partnership programs to promote African design, African talent, sustainable shopping, what else? Fair trading practices, all these things. Women-owned businesses. There are lots of angles that can be explored. So while you're in the UK, see if you can also talk to Next. Now, it doesn't have to be high street, because Next and Marks and Spencer's, that's high street. Those are like big stores. You can also explore market street stores. So names that are not so well known but might be open to doing business with you. You remember the DHL thing that I mentioned? You make a couple of designs, DHL it to them, they sell it, you guys have a profit share, or however it is that you guys run this business when it comes to fashion. Then there's also contests, giveaway on social media. Okay, no, I think that's me just duplicating myself. I think I already wrote that down and spoke about things like that. Okay, no, okay, yeah, this is a different idea. So contests and giveaways, like those things that people say, like the things that people do to try and attract, to build your brand and attract new followers, where you say, take a picture of a unique ankara material that you have, and then tag 10 people and tell them to follow me for a chance to win a free design. And in this case, it will be a free design because the person is already bringing the ankara. You are just doing the design. But the idea is to get as many people as possible to take the picture, to tag you, to tag 10 other people, to tell those 10 people to follow you, and then you're growing your handle and the possible people that can come join you. There was a time when people used to do stuff like this a lot. I don't know if it'll still work in this day and age. Then you can also, Veronica, get involved in the community by sponsoring local events or by donating your products to different organizations or to charities. For instance, Catholic churches, Abuja, Lagos, now is about that time. I don't know how much time you're going to be in the UK, but I don't think UK people have this whole fundraising and harvest bazaar mentality. But, people are getting ready for bazaars here in Niger. So this might be the time where you tell the planning committee that, hey, you know what, I'm going to dress chairman and chairwoman and maybe two other people of the panel. But you guys must wear my designs on that bazaar day, and you guys have to give me a shout out. In fact, maybe you should even give me free advertising in the harvest brochure. You can talk to them, come up with that whole thing, and then donate. 2-3 designs, dress up some of the committee people, make sure that they wear it on that day, and they shout you out, build some goodwill, create a positive reputation in the community amongst people in the church. That kind of thing. And then, let's see, let me look through my notes. Okay, you can also partner with other businesses to offer prizes. That's for people that have, like a similar target audience. Like you do Ankara hoodies, and I know that there's some people who do Ankara souvenirs. We bought a couple to give our gifts when my wife and I, to give our, what do you call them? People who attend your wedding, basically. So we bought a couple to hand them out. So I haven't seen anybody who makes Ankara souvenirs, who makes Ankara clothes. And I've noticed that people who make Ankara clothes don't seem to make Ankara souvenirs. So you guys might partner up. And that will be the scope. Like, hey, I noticed you make Ankara pens, Ankara jotters, Ankara handbags, Ankara this. I make Ankara clothes exclusively. So why don't we hook up, do some promo, let's do some joint marketing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. We've gone over 30 minutes now, so let me wrap this up to a sharp close. I think you guys get the point. That the ideas abound. When it comes to growing your sales, you sit down with a piece of paper, just like I did. If you sit down with 2 or 3 people, I didn't do that, but if you sit down with 2 or 3 people, I can assure you that the list of all these things that I mentioned could easily double or easily triple. So ideas to grow your sales, that's not really the problem, because ideas abound. The more time you set aside for brainstorming, the more people that you brainstorm with, the more ideas you can cook up. So Veronica, Hoodie Queen, just remember, the ideas are not the problem. Challenge and execute. The challenge rather is execution. Execution is the key. So looking at the list of all these things that I've spoken about now, I hope you had your pen and paper and we're writing through. So you sit down with your business associate, you sit down with your significant other, or whoever it is that you bounce these ideas off of, and you guys have a hard one-to-one. Now you're trying to figure out which ideas seem likely, which ideas seem workable, given the ideas that you've tried in the past. So you might have tried some things in the past, some online stuff, and right now you don't even want to hear online because you had a bad experience. So you now just scratch off all that online stuff. So which ideas seem workable given what you've tried in the past or what you're doing now? Which ideas catch your fancy because of your comfort level or your tolerance level for putting yourself out there, for promoting yourself? Or what ideas seem workable depending on the amount of budget that you have for promotional activities? So that's the challenge now. Sit down, outline the ones that you think are going to work. Which one are you willing to explore next? So let me know so that we don't end up brainstorming in perpetuity. Let me know. I've listened to the recording. You mentioned 15 ideas. Of the 15, 10 didn't make sense. 5 made sense. Of the 5 that made sense, I think we can do 2. And these are the 2 that I would like us to explore. So let me know. What would you like to explore? Let's come up with a plan. Let's put that in motion. So yeah, so that's it pretty much. So I'll be back in the group in a few hours to see if there's anything here that requires my immediate attention, my immediate response. So sorry, everyone else. I've already done 30 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to. I won't be doing anything today for Billy, our guy in Benin, or for the school crew. That is Gwen, Faith, Amina, and Freestar Logistics. So I'll be back here again in a couple of hours to see if there's anything that needs my time and attention. If not, most likely we'll pick up here again tomorrow. I think we have some outstanding issues for Billy to see how things went with the engineers that he was supposed to have called over the weekend.